So, thinking about depression, emotions, anger, sadness, it's can be a tricky thing, especially when it comes to being able to communicate. And I know that I am have not ever been the best communicator in most of my relationships because I never explained myself the right way. But I also know that being in a couple of narcissistic relationships, knowing that me and when I did try to explain like what I was feeling and why I was angry, I felt a lot of that narcissistic stuff came back at me because normally when you tell a narcissistic person how you're feeling and if it's about them hurting you, that's like a big horrible no because you're not hurting them. Like, why would you hurt them? Like, or why would they hurt you? Like that's something they would never do. Like they that's how the narcissistic people are. They twist everything around and make it you that's the problem. I'm not saying, like I said, ever that I was never the problem. I definitely instigated, I definitely gaslighted, I definitely pushed buttons. But I wasn't ever really taught how to have a good communication with anybody, whether it be a person from the store or a, you know, relationship with anybody. Even with my brothers and sisters, like, it took us forever to finally, like, have an actual good conversation. And even, like, with my dad, like, because I don't think he knew how to do it. And I'm not blaming him. Every parent is human, just like we all are humans, and we all are learning. And this is learning experiences. Nobody's a perfect parent. Nobody's a perfect person. Nobody's a perfect human. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to, you know, mess up somehow. We're going to say something. But I have learned over the past couple months, definitely, that stopping thinking about what I'm going to say before I just blurt out whatever the fuck I feel like saying. Because that's my brain, because that's how I was taught. You just react instead of pausing and saying, okay, what do I really think about this? And nobody, it's very hard for some people, I should say, to stop, take a breath, think about what was just said, and react differently. Especially if you are just one that automatically reacts to whatever is happening. Because you're automatically, in my mind, everything negative is going to happen. The bad things are going to keep happening no matter what I say, no matter what I do. And that comes with anxiety and that comes with depression. And I've heard this a lot of times, that depression is from their past and anxiety is from thinking about the future. And so a lot of my depression and, negative thinking was that worry that because this happened before, it's going to happen again. 99% of the time, it doesn't happen that way. Things happen, but 99% of the time, it doesn't happen again. So, dealing with this again with my new husband, or previous separated husband, thinking that, okay, he's going to take my kids, he's going to start push that mental health problems, instability. I've moved 16 times in my life. Whatever it is. That, when it first happened, when he first left me, I thought, okay, great, here we go again, he's going to take my kids away, I'm never going to see them again, blah, blah, blah. But I stopped. And I thought, okay, how am I going to react to this? I've already been in this situation. Not that I want to be in it again. But if I stop and I think, okay, this is how I reacted before, and this is how things ended up before. So I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to change my thinking pattern. Knowing that, okay, everything happens for a reason. And he wanted to leave. His choice about doing it was wrong, in my opinion. But I get it. He wanted to be out. But he could have communicated this to me. And instead of just upping and leaving, he could say, okay, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to leave. I'm going to take the kids because I feel this is an unsafe situation. Whatever. And then we'll continue to do what should be right. With my lawyers and stuff this time, I have a book this big that was presented to the lawyer and to the judge. And all of it was me writing down exactly what happened, what was said, text messages, anything. If I visited the girls or whatever happened, I would explain, this is what we did, blah, 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 this is what happened, so-and-so was involved, and, so I literally wrote down everything that was happening. And I told my lawyers, this is what's happening, this is what's been going on, and the judge finally, agreed that what I was doing was being on the right path, was continuing to do what I was supposed to be doing. I'm still continuing to work. I'm still continuing to work on myself, to get an apartment, to get a safe place for me and for the girls when it ever happens, which it will happen, and it's going to happen. It's happening, I should say. But knowing that I'm doing the right thing, and I am doing what's right for me, what's right for the girls, what, should be happening. It's relieving to me because my lawyer's yeah, you're doing it, and you're proving that his behavior is totally opposite of what should be happening. And there's been times when the kids were talked about and where kids were talked too about me in a negative fashion. And the kids have a lawyer too. Like, so they would tell the lawyer, this is what so-and-so said, and this is what happened. And so, I mean, the lawyer was like, all right, and the judge ended up saying, you can't have third-party involvement to this situation because it is me and my husband, ex-husband, soon to be, and our 2 children. There's nobody else in this picture. And that's exactly what happened last time with my ex-husband. He didn't want to speak up for himself because, I don't know for what reason. So he ended up having his wife speak up for him. Which, to me, that should have never happened. Because, yes, she's involved, but it was between me and him. It wasn't between her. It wasn't between anybody's parents, anybody else. My parents or anybody. Siblings. So, I feel like I got screwed over in that situation. Because when I went to the judge back in 2017, 2016, to try to get my kids back, it was her against me, when it should have been my ex-husband against me. Because we were in the party, not her. And I feel that was also part to her being like in that town and knowing everybody, and because the town was so small, she even knew like sheriffs and anything, everybody that was in the town. So I feel like that just kind of gave her a boost, even though they had no idea what I was trying to do. Like, I had a house, literally a 3-bedroom house, so that all my kids could be there. They could visit, they could spend the night. They all had beds, they all had toys. I had everything, and then I had all this evidence to prove this. I took pictures, and all of it just got swept because mental health. And because I was staying in a mental health facility, not really facility, it was an assisted facility. But like I said, I had a whole house to myself, so it wasn't being monitored. They check up on you because they give you housing for free, they give you all this stuff for free, so they're going to check up and make sure you're not making a mess and like continuing the mess or getting any kind of bugs or any kind of whatever. So, and they were on board with me too. Like, we want you to get your kids back. Like, they brought me to all these stores to decorate the house. I was volunteering at the time at the hospital. I was volunteering at the shelter. I was trying what I could do. I was trying to get on disability too because of my mental health state. And that was hard. Also, because I'd been fighting for it for so long. And it was something that